Alright, so I took a little bit of a break to take care of some emails and whatnot. But I am back to carving this guy. I've got about an hour into him so far. He's going a little bit quicker than I initially thought when I first started. But I'm getting down to like small detail stuff now, so I might slow down. We'll see. It's hard to I'll take my sweater off. It's getting hot down here. All right. Generally, I get to have a little bit of fun in the thin areas when I'm carving these guys. I take the big swipey swoops out. I'm gonna start going into the dorsal fin area now. Oops, sorry. I hit you guys with my head. Sorry about that. How long does it take me to do one of these? This one, I'm about an hour into the carving of this one. I did a session on this earlier for about an hour. This one, I don't know how long I've been at it so far on this one. Maybe about 10 minutes. I know it's been quiet, but it doesn't have to be. I was talking a lot on the one that I was doing earlier. I'm in a more thinky spot on this one though too. But the last session was anything but quiet actually. I was talking quite a bit. So the challenge with this one, with the shark's fins and stuff, is that I have to make it all feel like one cohesive piece. And so that I have to bounce back and forth a lot between the areas. I can't move through it as systematically as I usually do when I'm doing like the furs and stuff, because you know I'm using the texture and the contours to create value. I really like these areas that allow me to do those cross carving lines. They are kind of my favorite spots to do when I'm doing these sharks. The last hammerhead piece that I did, the top fin was by far my favorite area. The dorsal fin. I call it the top fin. It's a dorsal fin. Alright, so now that I've got that done, I am tasked with making it fit in with the rest of it so it doesn't look like it's just glued on top of the shark. To do that, kind of have to carve into the back a little bit more. So I can get these cross areas. It's like cross hatching in reverse, right? Well, not really. Yeah. A negative forward cross hatching. Just gotta chew it up a little bit. Thin these lines up, take that one out a little bit. Pretty cohesive. I put the drawing on the board. I use a projector and I just draw it on with a Sharpie. Let's see. Store. Did I miss something? I don't know. Store. Did I say store? It's hard. I don't remember what I said. But I was doing one of these live sessions earlier, so maybe I was referring back to my live session earlier. What is the subject? I carve out of MDF. MDF. So now I'm going back, and I've got these, like, I know hammerhead sharks don't generally have like stripes and stuff on them, but this one does. Okay. So I'm going back and kind of pulling out those stripe areas a little bit. So I use my iPad now as a sketchbook, but I've only been doing that for a couple months. Before I would, just use a normal piece of paper and scan it in and then project it up. But now I use an iPad, so yeah, now it's digital. But before it doesn't have to be digital, I guess is what I'm saying. You can scan, or I've even just taken a photo of a drawing and just project it up on the board. And the only reason I do that is to save time. Because when I'm making my pieces, I'm trying to make them in the exact size, so I'm able to project it out, measure it, and then adjust accordingly, make it bigger, make it smaller, depending on what I'm hoping to do with the piece. So I can get it the right size. So the drawing that you saw me draw of this one earlier, I'm going to do a whole post from beginning to end process on this piece, and that's one of the reasons I'm live streaming this. So I'm filming the process of me carving it, so I can take that video and bring it in and make it something complete for you guys. Show you the whole process. Okay. Yeah, so eventually, yeah, this piece will make it into my online store, Mark. It will. I got a couple commission pieces, well, not freelance, they're freelance pieces for companies that I'm working on right now. So those are going to take a slight priority on this. So it might be a week or two before I get this one up there. Since I have deadlines on those other two projects I'm working on. They're not super close, but I don't like to keep people waiting that long. So this one will eventually make it up, but maybe not for a couple weeks. People don't generally keep hammerheads as pets, so it's not dedicated for the pet show. right. So someone asked, did I study art? And the answer is yes, I did. I have a degree in drawing, painting, and printmaking from Kennesaw State University here in Atlanta. So I did. Yeah, online. Yeah. No, I don't have a storefront. I don't have a storefront yet. Maybe sometime in the future. I never want to never say never, you know. But at this point in my life, house career, I don't. It would be nice to get one. But I assume at some point I'm going to get tired of dragging my stuff all over the city. And it'd be nice just to set up camp in one spot. But that's not the focus at the moment. Actually, I just got a new tent for doing festivals and stuff, so I hope to travel a little bit more in the coming year or so, maybe more. And book some more shows. But for right now, no storefront. No storefront. Did you work on some comic characters or something like that? No, I generally don't work on other people's stuff or licensed characters and stuff. I try to stay away from that and do my own thing. How far? Wait, okay. How far do you travel for events? I mean, I've traveled as far as New Orleans once. That was about an 8-hour drive. I've got an event. I don't think it's next month. I think it's the month after. I think it's in May. For South Carolina, which is about a 2 to 3 hour drive. You know, if I can get there in like a half day or something, so anywhere between like an hour to 6 hours, I would consider doing a festival if it's a good festival. So if you're, 6-hour drive or less from Atlanta, then you have a good little spot, that a good festival. Feel free to send me a message and let me know, and maybe I'll come out there. We'll do some research on it. I'm waiting to the end of April for what I'm waiting for. You waiting for the goldfish, Mark? Is that which one you want, the goldfish? I forget. I think it was the goldfish, though. I have to go back and check. I'm going to carve most of this tail away. End up carving most of the tail away. For the bigger pieces, do you use a bigger carver, or do you do everything with this? Yeah, pretty much everything with this V-gouge that I'm using right now. I do have bigger carving tools that I use for clearing out larger areas, but when I say larger areas, I rarely use those. If I'm doing it, it's a very oversized piece. We're talking like 4 feet big. So, and I don't do many of those anymore. So, Yeah, I do spend a lot of time in the studio. But personally, I prefer it. I don't quite enjoy leaving the house for events or, you know, like tomorrow I got to go to a classroom and help some college students carve a big block. And while I'm sure it'll be fun and enjoyable while I'm there, I'm not quite looking forward to having to go do it. I much prefer, you know, locking myself in the basement and working on little pieces. I've got enough work to keep me busy down here. Like I said, I've got 2 freelance projects I'm working on right now, and then all the stuff that I want to do for myself, and get ready for the pet show, and getting ready for festivals. I gotta build. I just bought a new tent, so I have to build a new display for my stuff. So, you know, I'd rather, I don't mind going out, and when I'm out I enjoy it, but I don't like the process of leaving my studio. I don't like the driving and the traffic and the going here and there. Any advice you can give me for not cutting my hands with the tools? And is your family helping you with things? Generally I do things pretty much by myself. I have a girlfriend that'll come out to my festivals with me, and if I get like a big t-shirt order, I'll ask her to help me print them. But generally, and when I say big t-shirt order, I mean like 50 to 100 t-shirts to print, because that'll take me, you know, 4 or 5 hours to work my way through that. But generally, I pretty much do everything by myself. And then the advice for not cutting your hands. Keep your hands behind the cutting tool. Don't carve like this. If you carve like this, you'll cut your hands. If you carve like this, you won't. So just, you gotta learn to hold it better. A lot of people tend to hold their carving tools like a pencil, and then it's difficult to carve like this. I put my carving tool into the palm of my hand, so I've got the whole force of my arm working behind it. So it's all about how you hold the tool. Just hold the tool better. You won't cut your hands. And you see when I'm holding it like this, I've got the tool in front of me, but I've also got my thumb here that's pushing back on it, so the tool doesn't slip. That's why I do that. Gives me a little bit more force to use. What kind of colors do I use? Like paint? I use acrylic paint. I just use, I use a mixture of like cheap acrylic paint and really nice acrylic paint, like golden acrylics. But I mix them up. Basically, the paint that I use is the paint that has the colors that I like, and that's why I use the golden, because I like their colors. So I mainly buy my paints based on colors and not really the brand. The glove, it's a mechanics glove. I got it from Home Depot. And somebody asked earlier, am I a perfectionist? And I would answer that no, I'm not. You know, I'm particular about how I want my stuff to look, but I don't. I'm not afraid to show it unless it's perfect. So, and that's, to me, that's what a perfectionist would be. But I'm particular. All right. So the shark is pretty much done. I'll turn it this way because I imagine most of you watch it on your phone like this, and show you what it's looking like so far. Oops, I don't want to do that. Missed a spot. I go down here and carve this little, the reflective lighting here off on the edge of the tail. And then the shark will be done. And then I'm going to kind of do this too. Okay. Now the cookie part. The cookie has a lot of texture. Okay, cookie part. So now with this cookie, I pretty much drew everything out exactly how I want it. So I'm going to be following my lines pretty closely. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm looking for like I want 90% close of what I'm doing. I planned it out pretty solid. And then I'm probably going to go on top of all the chocolate chips and do a little highlight that I will paint brown to give it the look of a chocolate chip later. For sure that was an alien with an asteroid. That's funny. Hopefully when I add the colors it'll be clearer, but I know right now you're just seeing like parts, bits and pieces of it. You don't see the whole piece at once. I like those marks, so I'm going to leave them. Thank you. It's hard to read. Thank you, Van of my dreams. Very kind. Do this. Am I answering questions? Yes. What type of festivals do you normally participate in? Since the beginning, did your drawing style change or you tried something absolutely different nobody would guess? All right, I'm confused. Since the beginning, did your drawing style change, or did you tried something absolutely different nobody would guess? on you. All right, so I'll answer the festivals question. Generally, I just stick to Atlanta. I do Grant Park Festival every year. I do small neighborhood festivals. East Atlanta Strut, I do some years I don't. It's my birthday weekend generally, so if I don't have plans or nothing going on, I'll go out and do that festival. But if I do, I skip it. I do the Makers, not Makers? Yeah, Makers Fair some years. Ice Atlanta, I do some years. Or I do that one pretty much all the time. I do small neighborhood festivals. I do a mixture. But, like I said, I want to try to get out and travel a little bit more. So I'm headed to South Carolina in about 2 months. And I'll be at the Ormwood Festival here in Atlanta in about 2 weeks. Yeah. That's small neighborhood festivals. And the other question was about my drawing style. I mean, I draw how I draw, and I don't try to fight it. I try to think about what I like in my work and what other people like in my work, and I try to bring that forward, working in the future. But I don't try to fight how I draw. I draw silly and goofy and funny, and with like bold strokes and bright colors. And from time to time, I try to fight my natural inclinations. But every time that I do, I wouldn't say it's unsuccessful, but I just like it better when I do it this way. So when I have fun with my work, but my work's about having fun, and so I try to bring that out. And I've kind of always just drawn this way, but I draw all the time. It's a lot of practice. What type of material do I use? MDF. I carve MDF. What's my zodiac sign? That's the, I got asked that question last time I did a live stream. I'm a Libra. A Libra. The person that asked that last live stream said that they could see that in my work. So. Within the next 10 minutes or so, my live stream's going to turn off because I've been carving for about an hour. If I don't finish before then, I'll try to turn it back on. But in about 10 minutes, this is going to turn off automatically. What kind of wood is it? MDF. Do I know some jokes? I'm trying to remember. Every now and then I write down like Laffy Taffy jokes, but that's about the extent of my joke telling. I'm trying to remember one. Give me a second. It'll come to me. Something like how did the glowworm feel after he lost his tail? I think was the crux of the joke. I'm probably messing it up. That's why I don't really tell jokes. Give up. He was delighted. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, this is a hammerhead shark eating a cookie. This isn't nightmare fuel, so sharks can only get you if you go in the water, and then even then it's rare, so you should be fine. It's MDF. I carve MDF. Getting close. how long does it take to make such a shark start to finish? Well, I'm going on about 2 hours of carving this little guy. It's the wrong tool. But that's just the carving. That is not the, the drawing and the prepping of the board or anything. It probably takes me like 5 or 6 or 7 hours beginning to end. It's hard to say. I don't time myself. Right. Now it's just clearing out unwanted areas. Last couple cuts are the last ones. Oops, actually, a couple more things. I forgot, I'm going to do the edge of the cookie. Which is easy. Cookie edge. Cookie edge. Like that. And then I'm going to do the cookie edge here. Let's bring that up a little bit, a couple areas. And then when I paint it, I'll be painting this a dark orange color to make it fall back into line. And then I'm going to add a couple cookie highlights, or chocolate chip highlights, which will be painted like a dark brown. But that is it. All right, guys. Give you a quick little close-up. The mouth. Go down the back. There's the fin. The back texture. Tail. And then the cookie. So there it is. All right, I did it just under 2 hours. I got 1:30 left in my 2-hour timer. So thank you guys for watching. I'm just going to clean up a couple marks here that I saw. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Thanks, Mark. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you later.